Oh, that's awkward. So I have to press Control S to turn the sound on, but pressing Control S also gets rid of the selected unit tab. That's awkward. One sec, let me see if there's a different hotkey that could be used. And then one comment on the game. Show production to all of you. Oh, no. Well, I guess. Yeah, I guess I don't know how to do any sort of options like that. So we're stuck with this. So I can't. I can't have this thing at the bottom right. F10 is menu. But last time I tried to press a menu thing, the entire game crashed, so I'll just wait till after the game. Anyway, oh no, I can't even look at their here. I have to do something. Okay, so it's Keeper versus the good old Crypt Lord. In case anyone doesn't know, NorthDrakkar is our undead player spawning top right in the yellow with the Beetleman, the Crypt Lord, his signature hero. He does oftentimes also play solo hero, but I do think he has been sometimes trying to add in a second hero. On the other side, Air going with Keeper first and the expansion camp first, but NorthDrakkar does spot it and is actually heading over right away. This could be a very interesting harass. He's got 4 beetles here. Air did not actually bring wisps to repair okay, there's one in the vicinity. This wisp is huge. Not only for the repair, but to potentially deto this. NorthDrakkar needs to be so careful. NorthDrakkar! Nah. That was a bajillion XP. Let's just say it's a bajillion. This Keeper is already level 2, and a huge blunder there to not split up the summons a bit more. But NorthDrakkar is keeping at the harass here, trying to do what he can. And another wisp comes in as well. I think the Ancient War denied that one. And now NorthDrakkar has quite a few units, but he's out of mana. The Priest, I believe, went to the Keeper. I'm not sure though. Or maybe the Crypt Lord stole that one. He has 20 XP, so he stole one of the trolls, I guess. But yeah, this Keeper has 300 XP already from the first camp, and he's going directly into an expansion, which I mean, could be pretty huge. Meanwhile, on the other side, NorthDrakkar, Fiends, Teching. He actually has a Nerubian as well. Maybe a bit early for it since he was going over to harass. But I don't hate a Nerubian in general. On the other side, Air trying to figure out what to do with his Keeper at this point. Looks like he wants to harass in some way. Might even try to get a good detonate here, and he might actually get a good detonate too. Yeah, NorthDrakkar nicely microing back, but the Keeper is just a free kill on the Fiend. And this is why you can't really go Fiends against Keeper when you don't have a Death Knight. Or sometimes even with a Death Knight, you can't if you, don't go ghouls first at least. And one more Fiend on the field. Not going to go for the Entangle on that one just yet though. A lot of damage being exchanged on both sides. But that actually probably benefits NorthDrakkar here, because the Keeper is going to completely drain as well as if he's low on health and mana. Air trying to cancel the slaughterhouse here and does get the cancel. And we have a temple on the side for NorthDrakkar. Looks like he wants to do some sort of necro push with just tons of summons. But NorthDrakkar has a very good build to deal with this. And by that I mean he just simply has an expansion. And having an expansion is, of course, pretty huge. Because it allows you to produce wisps from 2 different bases. And what do we got though? Ancient Wonders to block off. Yeah, NorthDrakkar going for burrow research on the fiends. Investing quite a bit on the fiends, even though he's going to have to invest a lot on necros afterwards. I'm curious how this build is going to work out for him, especially without an expansion. If I'm in blue's position here,
a player's forces are under attack.
I'm feeling pretty good about this position, right? Like he's almost level 3 on his keeper. He's tier 2. He's got, what is this, double lore coming. He's got an expansion about to be saturated. And he even has a shredder, so he could actually transfer wisps. In fact, he should transfer wisps before he makes any more, because he has way too many wisps. Well, actually, maybe it's actually fine, right? He's facing necros, so having those wisps isn't even bad. I'm not actually sure if he should get a shredder. I think actually the shredder is pretty bad here. When you're facing necros, you actually just want more wisps. Rather than a shredder, you'd rather have 4 more wisps, right? And eventually you'll just have so much wood anyways, it doesn't even matter if you're detonating them all. In my opinion. Like, wood shouldn't be the problem here. But he has a shredder, and it's not, you know, a bad choice. I just think it's a less optimal choice, but we'll see how it works out. He is level 3 now. Do we have a second hero? Shredder is stuck as well, blocked outside of his base. And what do we got? We got some protectors coming up. And both sides just creeping with their level 3 solo hero. Keeper should be even getting somewhat close to level 4. Actually could get level 4 off this camp, I believe. Looks like he's a little scared here or something. Oh, he's picking up a second hero. It's going to be the panda. With the split XP, might not be level 4 here. Shredder gets into the base, but no production yet. And what will the production be? Because tier 2 elf is actually not too good against necros. When I have done this fast expo style against necros, what I did was, oh no, NorthDrakkar, you forgot your wagons, you need a zeppelin. Zeppelin! He doesn't have the resources for the zeppelin either. He needs to cancel something. And Air might even just buy the zeppelin to deny it. Now NorthDrakkar does get the zeppelin, picks up the wagon just in time. But Necro out of position, gets focused down by the archers. Nicely done by Air. However, there is a lot of summons here now, and Air needs to start being a little bit careful. Taking a lot of damage here. And Air has slipped on his macro. He's got 1700 gold, 46 out of 50 supply. He really needs more moonwells. Does he have them coming? He does not have any moonwells coming. He's going to be stuck at 50 food. So it's going to be basically an even fight. He realizes now, but I mean, necros are very snowbally, and NorthDrakkar could easily break these towers, kill the tree, kill the moonwell before Air can even do anything. But can he keep the necros alive? If the necros fall, or if he gets too many detonates on them and runs out of mana, he could still run into trouble. He has no statues either. One necro does fall. He's actually not got that much mana left. He's only got like two more summoned skeletons to come out. But Air also does not simply have an army. Panda, Keeper, everything's so weak for Air. But he still has the towers. He's got some wisps here. The wagon falls for NorthDrakkar as well. It looks like it was focused on one of the wisps, actually, instead of attacking ground. And NorthDrakkar's just taking so much damage, diving way too far with all these units. And he no longer has the siege. Calls the GG. And Air will take the first game. Alright, now we have sound and the little production bar at the bottom right. So, improvements. Improvements. Sadly, the Warcraft team decided to have two different functions on the same hotkey because, I mean, why would they set things up properly? I don't know. It just wouldn't make sense. So that's what we got. And here we go with Air spawning top left in the blue, also known as blue. Going a fairly standard opener, possibly Keeper again. Although Demon Hunter is also really good against Cryptlord because you can just get rid of his mana and, well, he can't do anything. He can't creep, he can't harass. And on the other side, NorthDrakkar, same build as last time, Fiend opener. Or did he actually go this build last time? His hero was out somewhat fast enough to where he was able to like harass. Maybe he had a faster altar last game. I didn't actually see because I was trying to fix other things. But yeah, this time it is the pure Fiend opener. So, oh, and it is Demon Hunter. Well, this can leave NorthDrakkar with the option to potentially expand.
Player's forces are under attack.
It is going to be Cryptlord, but he queued up the second Ziggurat before the Fiend, which is not standard. Usually you want the Fiend right away. That's the purpose of the fast Fiend build, to have two ghouls and then straight into Fiends. It shouldn't be a huge deal. The second Fiend's also going to be quite delayed because he's queuing up a very early Nerubian. Likes to play very defensive, it seems. Meanwhile, on the other side, Air has already taken out just about his entire first camp. Gets claws +4. Not ideal. These days, I think Ring is pretty good. Especially because it's even Ring +4 now. Which is crazy to me. That they weakened claws. They took out Circlet and then they changed Ring to +4 instead of 3. So Ring is ideal drop there these days, unless you have a ranged hero. And we do get a Ring +4 now. So Demon Hunter looking pretty strong with 9 armor. 9 armor is going to allow him to creep extremely efficiently compared to, well, if he only had 5. And on the other side, Cryptlord gets Gloves of Haste. Not ideal for sure. He would definitely prefer the Ring himself, but Gloves is probably potentially even better than Claws 4 on Cryptlord. Cryptlord actually has decent damage, so having that faster attack speed might actually be pretty good on him. Meanwhile, Air has crept 3 camps already, close to level 3, going for an expansion, but he will have to heal, and this leaves NorthDrakkar a lot of open space to expand himself. And there we go. He gets his own ring. Now he will be fairly tanky himself, 7 armor. And it's kind of weird, this meta shift where you're just going to have a lot of armor, because you almost always are going to be finding Ring 3s or Ring 4s to use. We got a lot of summons on the side, but we're going to see some mana burns here in a second, I believe. Will we see an Impale at all? Wait, did he even grab my... No mana burn. It's immolation evasion. And NorthDrakkar disconnected it. With 2 base versus 2 base, the game is usually slowed down a bit. So it can be favorable for Demon Hunter because you're going to have a longer duration to get levels, and well, high level Demon Hunter plus something like Panda Second is, as it turns out, pretty strong. Especially compared to Crypt Lord First, which is NorthDrakkar style. But 2 base versus 2 base is generally easier to pull off for the Undead, I would say. Because usually the Undead can hit a good mass of units fairly quickly and easily in comparison. Whereas the Elf normally with expansions likes to rely on tier 2 mass. But tier 2 mass just doesn't scale as well as you want, so you have to like still go tier 3, but tier 3 takes a while, and Undeads can hit their timing with necro pushes or just triple racks or quadruple racks, gargs, things like that. And that can set the Elf behind if they are losing their wisps or just don't reach the tier 3 stuff they need in time. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I assume we're just going to see more of the same, with both sides creeping out the start and expanding. But as I say that, it is actually going to be different. Air is actually changing it up with a Tavern Hero, which is odd to see. Usually when you regame, people end up just going the same strategy. Both just because there's a reason they chose that strategy in the first place, but also because it feels weird to change the strategy out of seeing stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure if Tavern Hero's the greatest against Crypt Lord, but I guess it's probably not bad. I'm not sure, however, which hero is going to actually go.
A player's forces are under attack.
Pit Lord. Very interesting choice. I wouldn't say it's a particularly great choice. Especially because Undeads can go into expansion Mascargs, which kind of just crushes Crypt Lord hard. But we'll see if it works out.
Player's forces are under attack.
I'm not sure what Crypt Lord hopes for, or I'm not sure what Pit Lord hopes to face the most here, actually, to be honest. I personally don't like Pit Lord against Undead because he's just way too slow to do anything. But maybe against Crypt Lord, it could be a slightly different game. Whereas normal Undeads will have something like Lich and Nova plus Frost Armor, kind of just makes, and Orb and stuff, kind of just makes Pit Lord obsolete. But it's a bit different with Crypt Lord, right? Because he's relying on all these summons, and the Pit Lord can just cleave it down potentially without even needing detonates. Ooh, NorthDrakkar really needs to group these units a little bit better. It gets detoed with quite a few of the summons getting hit. I think like 4 of them fell there. But he does get the scout off, sees the expansion, and I think a good play here for NorthDrakkar would be to split some of these summons off to attack from the side potentially. Meanwhile, Air is producing more archers. We got tier 2, we got Hunter's Hall. NorthDrakkar expanding himself. But yeah, the Pit Lord level 2 just doesn't do much against this. So I think this early game is favorable for NorthDrakkar, but what can he get done here? Can he take out some of the archers? Can he stop the expansion? Can he avoid these wisps? Because if there are big wisp detonates, oof, -4. and then the other two just cleaned up, and that hurts. You got to be more careful. But he is getting some damage in here with the skeletons. Maybe with the Crypt Lord attacking as well, and blue going after the fiends, he could actually take out this tree. Yeah, Pit Lord's trying to go back there, pops off the Howl, but the fiend just taking so much damage. NorthDrakkar maybe leaving his Crypt Lord in the wrong spot as well. I think if the Crypt Lord was attacking this the whole time, he could have potentially even got it. But it is only double ring +4, no damage on him. So still a bit difficult. And we have a Huntress out for air. Looks like he wants a little bit more in order to try to defend. And the tree's gonna get up just fine. NorthDrakkar not committing to it. Are we gonna see an early AP? We are. But we do have tier 2 actually already done. Meanwhile, tier 2 only slightly started for NorthDrakkar. Undeads do typically tech a bit slower in this 2 base versus 2 base. But once Undead reaches tier 2, they can do a lot of things. I don't think NorthDrakkar typically goes mass Gargs, but it would definitely be the ideal play here if he did. Oh, we'll see what he decides. And we are going to have a lore coming up for blue.
A player's forces are under attack.
NorthDrakkar trying to see what he can do here. He wants to get that level 3, but 2 of his fiends are weak. He only has a couple beetles, and he's running straight into blue, who steals a camp away. And NorthDrakkar just needs to run. There's a bit too many units here. He could poke a little bit, but he shouldn't really kill anything. There's hide. The elf units can just simply run. But blue can't really do anything either. He doesn't have Rain of Fire, and there is a Spirit Tower about to finish. There's an Arubian already up. And fiends on Blight are highly favored in this fight. So this is not the proper fight for blue. Will air continue here? No, he is going to back off now. There are 5 fiends on the field. This is a lot of fiends coming in. Are we going to see? Yeah, we have the second barracks just mass pumping fiends. Might not even be necros this time. Fiends. This purely mass fiend style might actually be what the Pit Lord hopes most for. Especially because there's no like Nova or Frost Armor. So the Pit Lord might actually be a viable option against this. This might be exactly what he wanted. Because he could easily walk to the back line and just start cleaving these fiends down. Get a nice howl off on them as well. There's not going to be like orb forever. Unless we do see NorthDrakkar actually add a second and or third hero. But if he sticks with a solo Crypt Lord, the Pit Lord's actually in a pretty good spot against this army. But he does need to actually get some units, and he doesn't have any. He's only got the 1 lore. He's low on wood. He's not produced enough wisps, and he's already getting pushed in against with so many fiends here. Oh, but NorthDrakkar, a little bit of miss micro there, taking a lot of damage. You can't run your army this far away. You're just throwing away fiends. Nice burrow there, but you have to go back and defend. Oh, he's playing so scared, but he's actually stronger here. This elf army doesn't do anything against the fiends, especially with burrow. But he just ran all the way back. NorthDrakkar, are you just feeding your fiends? You have to save them. Once there's a reveal, the Dryad slow is going to make it so they can't run. He could just leave them burrowed and hope that the reveal runs out, I guess.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, I think the play is to leave them burrowed actually, or leave the one that's getting focused burrowed. But air actually lets it go as well. He doesn't want to chase it. Lucky break for NorthDrakkar there, to be honest. I think I think Air definitely could have punished that more. But it's actually not looking bad for NorthDrakkar now because he kept those fiends alive. He's 60 food. He's macroing fairly well. Meanwhile, Air 50 out of 70 food, so he's got kind of supply, but he has very little wood, and he still needs the research. And the research is going to cost another 150 for Master after this finishes. Not to mention the bears themselves, 80 wood each. And NorthDrakkar might just hit his timing here. Yeah, he picks up a heal scroll, could even sell the slippers and pick up another item. Yeah, this push is scary. And there's no towers in the main. NorthDrakkar might be just pushing into the main. Nice detonate coming out though. Hits like 4 beetles and the Criplord. Criplord's already out of mana. Never picked up, or no, he did pick up a mana potion. So we do have 1 mana potion as well. But NorthDrakkar needs to micro these fiends a bit. Going to take out the Ancient War first so that his backline doesn't get smacked by it as he walks forward. Do we see a Zeppelin pickup? A Zeppelin could be actually pretty huge for NorthDrakkar here. And Ancient War still on the field. NorthDrakkar not taking it out completely. But with some Burrow micro, it will be very difficult for Air to fight this. He never bought Dust either, and he doesn't have a Wisp at the lab. The fiends are basically unkillable if NorthDrakkar burrows them in time. Unless they like get cleaved down, I guess. I can't even remember. Does cleave hit burrowed units? I think it does. But Air just doesn't have anything. No production. He went tier 3. He's trying to add in Chims. He never got his bears. And now he's going into Dryads without any master training. He has so many resources, but this is the timing NorthDrakkar does. Or this is the timing Undead does in general. They get their fast units on tier 2. Usually more so Gargs or something. And they just pressure before you're ready, potentially. And that's what we have here. He's going tier 3 now, but his push is already strong. And Air is just not got much to defend this. It's really just the Pit Lord. The Pit Lord, like I said, can be pretty strong against the Fiends, but with the curse on him, becomes a lot weaker, not to mention the burrow that he has no dust for, and no units to back him up. And NorthDrakkar should have the second game, and it looks like we're going to be having a 1-1 series, unless Air can pull off some miracle, but this is 79 supply with 1,000 gold against 44 supply, and I mean, the roosts are spotted, right? NorthDrakkar is going to be able to have web. The tree's going to fall very quickly because there's wagons here. NorthDrakkar not really microing these fiends though. They're kind of getting smacked by the tree, and now we have a panda on the field as well. Nice breath on the statues. Tinker, we suddenly have Tri-Hero for the elf, but they are all level 1 heroes, and the AoE is very, very minimal compared to the statue heal. And that's the thing, against statues you can't really do minor damage. You have to be taking full-on fights, because otherwise the statues just heal everything up. Same as when you face priests and stuff, right? Like, you can't just lightly AoE stuff, because priests are just going to heal them up too. So even though Air has this extra AoE with the panda and the tinker that died now, it doesn't add up to much unless he's actually able to take a full-on fight, and he just doesn't have the supporting army to do so. NorthDrakkar pushing through with his 79 food, about to reach 2k gold again, starts spending it on some upgrades. Blue calls the GG. He realizes he just had some macro problems, sitting there with a ton of gold but just never able to spend it before the push ended him. And we have a 1-1 series. Hopefully the server is fine. We're going into game 3, tied up 1-1. NorthDrakkar able to fight back that last game with a nice timing push on 2 base versus 2 base. However, this time, yeah, Air, aka Blue, is going to be going back to the altar first No more Tavern Hero. Looks like he wants to go back to probably Demon Hunter on last Refuge. But it could be Keeper still. With Crippler probably being passive on this map, he could even go something that I do, which is like creep this and this with Keeper, and then creep this as well with the Ancient War and like 3 archers or so. But I don't think that's necessarily the build Air is going to go for. But he does have his Ancient War in position to potentially creep this at some point. Could just be Demon Hunter as well, not Keeper. We'll see what he opts for. But yeah, on the other side, NorthDrakkar going same build as before. The Fast Fiends, Crypt, and Graveyard into Altar Ziggurat. And it should be Cryptlord again. Decent building placement here. I mean, ideally the Graveyard would be here. And maybe the Crypt here. But I think he had to actually chop a tree. And the relics would be like... Yeah, you know, you get the idea. But it's fine. This is going to allow the Cryptlord to easily grab the rod from the shop, summon beetles, summon skeletons right from the graveyard, and head out. And then he even has a critter here. He's going to have so many summons right away, but he needs to do a good job of keeping those summons alive. You can't get them dispelled, or you give up way too much XP. And it is Keeper again for Air, not going to go for the Demon Hunter. Looks like he is a lot less comfortable with Demon Hunter maybe against the Cryptlord, I'm not sure. Or maybe just against Undead in general. I think Air commonly plays Demon Hunter, but maybe against Undead he's more of a Keeper player. Or maybe he just doesn't want the Demon against the Cryptlord. I'm not sure. Keeper can be pretty punishing though for the Undead player if they don't have a Death Knight. And of course with NorthDrakkar going Cryptlord, there is no Death Knight, at least not first hero. So the Keeper can always punish that with Entangle. And there's just no coil to save them. So we'll see if Air goes for that. He did take out one Fiend on Northern Isles early on with an Entangle and Treants. But will he try to do it again here? Will he go for either a fast level 3 and try to get like, you know, level 2 Entangle on these Fiends? Or will he just go and replenish his mana and go with like a set of Treants plus a couple Entangles and just try to take out what he can? No detonates, but we do have a Wisp Scout here, and this might get a huge detonate. NorthDrakkar, no split at all. Huge detonate. There is a bit of blight left, but all the beetles, all the skeletons are gone, and now the Keeper is here, and the Keeper is going to be able to get an Entangle kill. This is going to be a dead Fiend. Maybe not even using the Entangle. Going to Entangle the other one, but actually lets this Fiend go. And NorthDrakkar actually going to be able to just disengage here. Tries to go for the deny, but not going to get it. Cryptlord doesn't want to give up the camp to the Keeper, but it looks like it will be given up. Air kind of missing out on this one Fiend, but does get the other Fiend instead. So not terrible for him. Both beetles killed by the creeps. Air going to clean up the camp. Going to get level 3. And now if Air just heal or gets mana at his base, he can easily just make sure NorthDrakkar does nothing to the rest of the game pretty much. It's going to be very hard to move out against level 2 Entangle with Fiends.
A player's forces are under attack.
Because every time the Fiends move out, they're just going to be instant killed by the Entangle. There's no coil to save them. We got an Illusion now, wanting to spot NorthDrakkar. But there's enough units here as well where Air can just kind of stand his ground if he... Okay, maybe not. That's a lot of summons. He's got a Wisp nearby. Grabs it quite quickly as well. And we'll be able to get a small connection. Not the greatest. 2 beetles and 1 skelly. But not bad either.
is under siege.
And Expo spotted instantly by NorthDrakkar. If he sends over the 2 beetles, he could actually cancel this potentially. Oh, beetles? Beetles? Oh, he's trying to go for a fancy pull, but
Players' forces are under attack.
honestly, if he had brought all of the beetles over to this right away, I wonder if he could have got a cancel. Is three weak beetles enough? I'm not actually sure. Their damage is quite low. It probably needs to be like skeletons, right? If it was skeletons, he could cancel it, but I don't know if these beetles cancel it because they have like 8 to 9 damage only. And yeah, now
Are under attack.
there we got a Dark Ranger second. Interesting choice. Does get rid of corpses a bit on the undead units by using the black arrow, but I'm not sure if it's the best choice here. Not terrible with mass fairies though, but is it even mass fairies? He's going tier 3, which could indicate potentially like hippo riders and marksmanship. I feel like the tier 3 was a mistake. Oh no, he's going talons. Okay. I personally think I don't know if talons are used at top level play currently, but I don't particularly think they're that amazing. Maybe this is actually a strategy. I haven't actually been paying attention to the top level play lately, but I know talons were of course talked about a bit. One fiend going to be left behind and killed. NorthDrakkar not going for the Zeppelin or anything either. He has a lot of summons here, but if there is a Wisp Detto, he could lose them all. He did get level 3 though, gets Mana Stone as well, which is pretty huge. And going for tier 3 Necros once again. But 1 base Necros against 2 base Elf is not exactly ideal. The expansion now finally getting saturated. We have Talons, Hunter's Hall. Curious what he wants from the Hunter's Hall, because it doesn't really help Talons at all. Ooh, and it's going to be level 2 Treants actually, not Entangle. Entangle could be some easy kills on the Fiends, but he goes for the Treants instead, wants the front line from the Treants. But the Burrow going to be huge here, but no Burrow on that Fiend, and the double level up for the Keeper and the Dark Ranger, and NorthDrakkar going to have to lose the Golem potentially. He tries to unburrow the Fiends, but now he's going to get one entangled potentially. Air, is he going to go for the entangle, or is he going to let these go? No entangle just yet. Maybe not even watching, maybe thinking NorthDrakkar had backed off completely. But NorthDrakkar does keep most of his units alive.
A player's forces are under attack.
And it's actually going to be Banshees, not Necros. So going for the Fiend Banshee push again, but without the second base against 2 bases, it's not going to be as strong. But he is almost sneaking an expansion, but the Blight is about to appear, and I think that's Envision. Air should see the Blight now, and the Expo will probably get cancelled. The Ziggurat might still remain. Maybe Air's not even realizing. Maybe thinking he's not expanding. He might have just thought it was the Blight from earlier and not paid close enough attention. Meanwhile, NorthDrakkar going for a slight little push here. And I think the goal is just to try to get some Wisps and TP out, but if there's some Entangles, if there's some Fairy Fire on the Fiends before they burrow, Air could get a lot of kills. But look at these Talons, they just die so quickly to the Fiends. Has to be so careful. 2 Talons, already red health. No Wisp Dettos either. No Wisps brought from the mine. Nice Impale there. Everything softened up. NorthDrakkar about to get a ton of kills. 2 Archers fall. Level up on the Crypt Lord. He will have the higher level Impale now as well. And Air's just going to back off. The Talon's not really doing what he wanted just yet. But he does have tier 3, so he should have Master about to finish. He does have Master about to finish.
Player's forces are under
And Master training could be huge here. But the thing is, NorthDrakkar snuck in that expansion, and Air didn't see it. He came back to defend his own expo and just missed on the chance to cancel NorthDrakkar's expo. Does have a third hero now. It is going to be the Panda. Panda is, of course, a fairly good choice in general. More commonly as a second hero, though, because you want him to get leveled. No Overseer going to go to the Elf side. Nice little XP pickup right away. Two Talons fall to the Impale. The rest of the units are softened up, but the Cripplord's taking a lot of damage. He's going to have to TP. I believe there could be an Entangle coming in. NorthDrakkar playing a little risky here. Actually get some more kills. And Air not going for the focus fire on the Cripplord. I thought he might just focus it down with maybe some Entangle, Breath of Fire, force the TP, but instead the damage not really focused down there, and NorthDrakkar survives for now. Not even having to TP, but Cyclones are coming in, and now the units are by themselves. No hero support when the Cyclones are going. But Air's already out of mana. His only Talon with mana is flying in the air, and a Crow form Talon is not able to cast Cyclone until it goes back to the ground. And NorthDrakkar's got his Expo up. And this Expo is going to be huge. This is exactly what he needs for this sort of style. I am a little curious as to why he's... I mean, I guess one Disease Cloud A-Bomb or one Disease Cloud Wagon is actually not bad. But massing them would be pretty bad. You definitely just want destroyers. Like 1 or 2 destroyers at a time. Because you want to be able to devour Treants, you want to be able to devour Fairy Fire, Cyclone, Entangle. But you really only want to morph like 1 destroyer at a time. That way the elf can't just mass Crow form and kill them off. So you need to get like a bunch of extra statues on the ground, and then whenever a destroyer dies, you can just morph another one. Or if they never die, you just do that. But yeah, let's see. Not actually adding anything more right now. He just has the 1 A-Bomb with Disease Cloud. It's not bad. Disease Cloud getting spread on these low health units will be huge. Wagons are probably slightly better at doing so. And the Banshees could be huge here. He's actually got Master Training as well. Does he want to try to possess the bear, or... Oh my god, the Cripplord! Cripplord! Is he gonna TP? TP? Playing with fire there on the ping. But does manage to escape. And I think NorthDrakkar's army is just going to be stronger unless there's double lore, but there's only single lore. Or no, there is double lore. Okay, so we are going to have bears coming out. 2 bears at a time, and this could be a huge difference maker. But there's still the problem of the Banshees. How does Air deal with the Banshees? If there is enough mana on these Banshees and they get some possesses off, the bears could be in a lot of trouble. However, Air can always counter it with Cyclone. You can Cyclone up the Banshees and get rid of the possess. After the possess goes off, the Banshees also lose a huge portion of their mana. Ooh, and a huge TP here, right on top of all the Talons. I believe a couple falling instantly, but a nice counter TP out, and Air not losing all too much, but definitely not ideal there for him either. So we got Curse and Disease Cloud on one side. We got Fairy Fire all over on the other side. Do we have destroyers at all? No, it's going to be more A-bombs. NorthDrakkar not wanting to play with the destroyers, it seems. I'm not sure if he's afraid of the Crow form Talons with destroyers, but having 1 destroyer at a time when you have this many Fiends with Web as support as well is pretty good against Talons, in my opinion. Oof. Banshees leading up front, one going to fall instantly. NorthDrakkar needs to get those Banshees in the back. Does finally do so. And what is he going to use the mana on? Is it just going to be Curse? It seems to just be Curse. No anti-magic shell, no possess. Nice impales coming out, but the Banshee's still a little caught out front, and they're going to be turned into skeletons here from the focus fire on the Dark Ranger. A-Bomb nicely in the back, getting Disease Cloud on everything. A bunch of beetles coming in. Look at all these beetles. There's so many max level beetles on the field, and there's no dispel on either side. It's just treants, beetles, fairy fire, curse, rejuve, spells for everyone. NorthDrakkar, I believe, is coming out ahead here. He's got level 6 Crypt Lord. There's still quite a few fiends and banshees alive at fairly healthy amounts. A couple burrowed fiends as well, nicely saved, but he doesn't have statues for sustain, so he might have to get out at some point, but right now he can stay. The beetles and the Crypt Lord doing a lot of work, but he's starting to lose some units now. And the Tri-Hero, if the Tri-Hero can get a little bit higher level, they will be extremely scary. Air is also lacking an Orb of Venom on the Keeper. An Orb of Venom would be huge here. Dark Ranger trying to do what she can. Does take out a Banshee, but no Black Arrow on it as she is out of mana. And the Beetle's almost surrounding here. There's a lot of units for NorthDrakkar here. Nice web coming out on the Crow. Does he have statues coming? He does, but he has an A-Bomb queued first. He really needs the statues out as soon as possible. Fiends finally unburrowed. NorthDrakkar has a huge army once again to fight with. Fiend gets burrowed. No fairy fire. He does have orb now on... Oh, he has orb on the Panda actually, not the Keeper. Not ideal, but it does help, of course, rather than having nothing. Nice rejuve, saving the Keeper. Huge amount of treants. It is level max level treants here. Dark Ranger gets staffed out. Air is starting to take out some units, and NorthDrakkar, will he unburrow? He does unburrow everything. Is everything in range? No, the two fiends are out of range, and they are killed. Oof. Oof. We got level 5-3-3, I believe? No, 5-4-3. All of them just barely leveled as well to their respective levels. Meanwhile, the Crypt Lord almost level 7, and that's going to be a level 3 Impale, I believe, once he gets there, which will be huge. We finally have the statues as well, and these will be clutch for the next fight. They were definitely lacking in the second half of that last fight. NorthDrakkar really needed to get statues on the field a bit more quicker. I think that's why I would have liked him to not go so many A-Bombs. Just one A-Bomb for the Disease Cloud and then get a lot of statues. Because like I said, you can morph one or two of them to destroyers as well. And the extra statues being alive will be huge if the other ones ever die to like Breath of Fire. Panda, oh my god, he's just out of position, but NorthDrakkar not going for the Impale, just going to let the Panda go. But does he skill the Impale here? He does go for the Impale, but there's greater healing, there's heal scroll, there's staff, I believe, somewhere. No, the staff is on the Panda. Panda buys an invuln. NorthDrakkar not keeping this around. The Panda is going to be free, but it is just a small invuln, and the invuln's already out, but the Impale goes on the units, but it is a huge Impale. Panda does get free though, and huge damage coming in from these magic damage Banshees on the heavy armor bears. One bear falling, but A-Bomb also falling to magic damage from the Talons. Just, what am I watching? So many beetles, huge Impale once again, and we got the Locust Swarm. The Crypt Lord is marching forward, and Air is on the defense. Will he summon treants to try to stave this off? Or is he just gonna retreat completely to his base? It looks like one more bear might fall to the Locust Swarm and the Fiend shots. One last shot there takes out the bear. Crypt Lord looking strong, but it's dust and healing potion. So no second mana potion. Also keeping the claws. Could potentially sell some of those items like claws for more circlets to get more mana. Oh my god, the Crypt Lord's just stuck. Crypt Lord's just stuck. Micro! Box select your units. Oh no. Crippler took a lot of damage there. Actually using the heal potion as well. Might have been better just to completely disengage with a TP instead. And oh, we have rejuve on the Cripplord. I didn't even realize there was actually a bear possessed. This is NorthDrakkar's bear. When did that happen? Rejuve on the Cripplord. Cripplord's finally like full health now. And Air's army is just gone. He's got a lot of production buildings though, and a lot of gold, so over time he can still actually fight this. And if the panda can get more mana, more breath of fires, hit those breath of fires on like the mechanical unit statues, he can actually still do something. But it's going to come down to whether he can get the breath of fires and take out things like banshees and statues. Because once you take out these banshees and statues, then the rest of the army will slowly fall as well. But right now, Air's army is a bit small. He needs time. But his lures are in decent position. He's got Chimrus as well. So with 2 Chims coming out and 2 bears coming out at a time, Air could actually get a sizable army to fight this. NorthDrakkar might be a little bit complacent here, thinking he's in a super strong position, but all of these little pickoffs are huge. Air's about to reach level 4 Panda. The Dark Ranger and Keeper are still a bit a ways from leveling up again, but another level on the Panda is going to be huge. Get that bigger mana pool, get that bigger, more stats in general, and yeah, we see some breaths coming out. The units are getting softened up. NorthDrakkar, are you overextending here? Can you actually end it here before the Chims and the bears come out? We do see the level 4 Panda. More bears coming out, another bear coming out. And there's just no dispel, there's no destroyers. Not going destroyers is such a huge problem against this army because the destroyers are crazy powerful against what we see here so far. Dispel's coming out, trying to get rid of all the mana here, trying to get rid of the beetles. Yeah, all the beetles, all the mana on the Cripplord, and the Banshees taken out for the most part. 2 Banshees have a little bit of mana. NorthDrakkar going to TP. Is everything in range? I think he may have spotted the Chim as well. But yeah, as I said, it was like 78 food against like 50 or less, and Air held. And now he's got tons of production, right? He's got the Chims, he's got the bears. NorthDrakkar, do you have the army to fight this? He's got so many banshees. He needs more statues. Why do you only have 2 statues? I honestly think he needs like 5 statues, morph 1 to a destroyer, and then morph the others as needed, right? Because he's just running out of mana on them, and destroyers would also be huge. Yeah, that's going to be a huge problem for him. Is he going to queue up more statues? Is he going to get destroyer form? Do we see double mana He sold the ring instead of the claws. Oh no. This isn't a blade master. You don't need claws. Ah, not my ideal choice. But we'll see how it comes in for him. Sticking with that +4 damage instead of the +3 or 4 armor. But yeah, these Banshees... The Banshees are going to be indicative of who wins here, but... It's tough, right? Because he doesn't have much mana coming in from the statues. He needs a lot of anti-magic shell, and he needs to get off a couple possess. But even with that, you have to make sure you also get curse on the Chims, and that you focus the Chims down with Banshees and Fiends. Banshees leading the way, and they're just getting hit by the Chims. You could see a breath of fire come in and clean them up as well. Banshees should not be leading the way like that, but we do see the Locust Swarm. We see a couple possesses, but so many units also dying for NorthDrakkar. He's got a level 9 Cripplord now, and I honestly can't tell who is winning. It's a huge, messy fight. We got Tranquility in. NorthDrakkar trying to focus down potentially the Keeper, but that's not going to be viable. And I think Air is just crushing this fight. The Tri-Hero is out carrying NorthDrakkar. Just doesn't have the right army composition. GG is called, and blue takes the 2-1 lead. And like I said, even though it looked great for NorthDrakkar at that one point, he was pushing in with like 78 food against what was basically 3 heroes and 1 bear or something. You know, like 50 food or less. It just isn't enough, right? Like his damage is so low with just the Fiend Banshees and 1 hero, and the production is just so high on the elf side that he got a bunch of bears, he got a bunch of chims, and then it just went in his favor. The tri-hero out carried. But yeah, talk about the wisps being a huge problem for him because of their dispel. But really, he just needs his own dispel, right? Destroyers have infinite dispels because it doesn't cost mana. And it would allow him to get more statues, so he wouldn't run out of mana or healing on his statues, because he can just morph those ones and have new ones replace it. But it would have been huge, right? They would have had so much extra damage with devouring Fairy Fire, Cyclone, Rejuve, Roar, Treants, Entangle, Skeletal minions from Black Arrow, potentially Drunken Haze, but I don't know if there was actually Drunken Haze. I think it might have been Brawler. There's like 50 things to dispel. It would have been really nice to see just, you know, 1 or 2 destroyers at a time. I think would have made a huge difference in that last game, rather than the extra A-bombs. You only need like 1 A-bomb or wagon for disease cloud spread, and then destroyers would have been nice. But enough about that game. We are on game 4 now. Autumn leaves. Air with the 2-1 lead is going to stick with the keeper. He is 2-0 with the keeper so far, and wants to close it out here with the keeper in game 4. Meanwhile, NorthDrakkar will almost certainly be sticking with his Crypt Lord plan. The question is, what sort of strategy does he try to pull off? Does he try to expand? Does he go into Necros this time instead of Banshees? Will he do his big Fiend push? Or will we see something new completely? Keeper on the field now, going to get his creeping done. Archer taking a little bit damage from this wolf. These wolves are extremely annoying creeps because they always change aggro off of the Ancient of War. Not to mention just have quite a lot of damage for a level 2 creep. Yeah, Keeper already finished his camp. NorthDrakkar getting a lot of damage in here. He has the early Nerubian plus the Crypt Fiend dealing out the damage. But that does mean his second Fiend is late because he went for the early Nerubian. We have Beetle summoned, Rod of Necromancy used, trying to take out this Purge creep. And I think it will reset after it goes to here, so it probably will purge something. But hopefully it only purges one thing and NorthDrakkar finishes it up. Yeah. Meanwhile, Air wants to be aggressive with his Keeper. But it's hard to be aggressive unless he gets some Wisp detonates. Does he have extra Wisps? He does not really, because he decided to tech right away. Sometimes if you know it's Crypt Lord like this and you know they're relying on summons, you can... Oh my god, NorthDrakkar, why is your units positioned like the Fiend's just dead? Oh my god, he lost a Fiend to a Wisp. Why was his army so split up? NorthDrakkar loses one Fiend there to the Wisp Detto on the creeps. And Air taking a huge advantage there. But Air can only afford to detonate so many Wisps because he didn't stay tier 1 long to make extra. And he might be going for an expansion, which would further his further limit his detonate usage. Or if he does detonate, he needs to be, you know, ready to potentially pull and buy a shredder or produce a bunch of wisps on tier 2. NorthDrakkar trying to be careful, I think, with these summons, but now I'm bringing them in. There is a wisp here that could circle around, or the keeper could try to just poke at them. NorthDrakkar, where's he gonna creep on here? This map's pretty difficult to creep a lot of these camps with Criplord against wisps, because a lot of these camps are big orange camps. NorthDrakkar does escape a little bit, but will be spotted here from the wisp. And detonate comes in, only takes out a couple units, 1 beetle, 1 skelly, not the best. You generally want to get at least 2 skellies, maybe a few beetles, something like that. But every little bit is still helpful. And we do have the entangle coming in now, and this is why you can't be out on the map with fiends. This is just going to be a dead fiend to 1 entangle. I think. Oh my god. Is the fiend actually gonna move away? Oh my god. I think he needed to actually invest the second entangle instead of summoning treants to secure the kill. Because instead these treants are not going to really accomplish much of anything. So it would have been better to save 25 mana and just use the extra entangle. Little missed opportunity there. NorthDrakkar nicely puts the fiend in the back and might even get a little bit of XP off these treants if the Nerubian doesn't steal it. Yeah. And that's going to be Criplord at 350 XP. Keeper at 273. Criplord's actually out leveling the Keeper right now, but there is an expansion for the Elf. And tier 3 on the way as well. Does Blue have enough wisps for this? He does not. This is questionable. I think he actually needs to pull this and buy the Shredder. Like right now with his 100 wood. Because otherwise he's never going to actually be able to produce from the lures for so long. He's got 4 wisps on wood right now, and the lures aren't even producing yet. And this tree still needs to get in position. It needs to produce wisps to also mine on gold. I don't know. This is why you normally don't go tier 3 this quickly. You'd have the extra 200 wood, you'd be able to produce more wisps. But yeah, he's kind of stagnant here. Is he gonna go for the Shredder, or looks like he's trying to come across instead? Maybe afraid of an expansion, which wouldn't be surprising, especially with that Sack Skull. But NorthDrakkar did not actually expand. Instead, just creeping. Gets his level 3, going for Necros. I'm not a huge fan of Necros on 1 base, but you can get an okay timing with them sometimes. But it's very sketchy, right? Because you kind of run out of mana quickly when you only have like 3 Necros. Now when you have like 7 Necros and like the statue replenishing their mana, you kind of just have way too much mana and the opponent needs tons of wisps. So we'll see if NorthDrakkar can manage it properly and get a good timing off. But if he does not manage to do so, Blue's tier 3 and expansion might overwhelm him. Nicely puts the wisps on wood first. He actually does need this wood a lot. Will he actually just make another 5 wisps to go directly to gold? Or is he going to transfer them over? NorthDrakkar burrowing everything. Wants to get the last kill here, but honestly just kind of needs to TP out. Unburrow comes out, saves everything. And we have Naga second as well. I didn't really comment on, but an interesting choice. Naga's not particularly great against Necros at all, but it can be good for like tier 2 pressure against the Crypt Lord. However, he never really actually got to do tier 2
Player's
pressure,
forces are under attack.
right? Because he went straight to tier 3 instead. And now he's trying to add Nature's Blessing. He transferred the wisps off of wood onto gold, so now his wood is a bit short as well, but it should be kicking in here soon. And I think NorthDrakkar is running out of time. He's not going to go for an expo. He needs to start doing something soon. He does have tier 3, so these Necros are going to have their full mana pool from Master Training soon. But no statues is going to be a big problem. Statues are so crucial.
A player's forces are under attack.
Being able to replenish mana. Crypt Lord is level 4, but very far from 5. No TP either. Oof. Might want to sell the Crystal Ball and wards, buy a TP. Or does he just go all in with something like a heal scroll? I'm not sure, but NorthDrakkar is running out of time. We do have Ziggurats being added. I think selling those items, selling the altar maybe even, and then adding like triple units at a time could be huge here. You just need to boost up to that 60 to 70 food. He's gonna try to push with the 50 food, and honestly, if he can take out some wisps and TP out, it would be good. But he doesn't have a TP, so this feels like a committed fight. But he's got 660 gold, and his Ziggurat's only just finished. He does macro it now, but some decent wisp connections coming in. Okay, he's got the statues replenishing mana now. A lot of Necros coming in. This might actually be a strong enough push, but the Crypt Lord needs to be very careful. He does have double ring to help him, but no TP, no invuln. Fiends miss microed, running forward. Could see an entangle secure the kill, but Air, does he have enough here? He's got master bears, but it's only one bear, and bears aren't actually even that good against Necros unless all of the skeletons are gone, because they have heavy armor against magic damage Necros, and they're just not good against mass units like, you know, all the summons. This actually is just looking good for NorthDrakkar. I think Air just didn't hit his timing that he wanted. He's sitting there with 1800 gold. Yeah, he never got his wood economy under control. He's got 2k gold, like 15 wood. He's just not able to produce anything. And this was the problem I mentioned like 7 minutes ago, like 5 minutes ago or whatever, when he was decking tier 3. You need your wood economy under control, and he just didn't get it, and now he's trying to do what he can with the focus fire on the backline, but it's really just the keeper. The Naga's not even able to hit. Some treants coming in, a bear coming in. He's going to take out the wagon, slow down the siege. But even if he kills some units, he has no units getting replenished for himself because he doesn't have the wood to do so. He needs to actually take these wisps off of wood, or off of gold, and put it on wood, just so he can have you know, something to mine wood and be able to afford units. But yeah, he's running out of the lures now. The Chimroost is there, but I think the Chimroost was just a liability. It cost way too much wood and just never was able to do anything. And Air will be falling here in game 4. We will see a 2-2 series. NorthDrakkar with the lead, or with the win here to tie the game. GG is called. All right, we have a 2-2 score. Concealed Hill being our 5th map. NorthDrakkar has tied it up. Air trying to continue reigning supreme. Will NorthDrakkar finally dethrone him in this game 5? And what is going to be the play from both sides? Will NorthDrakkar try to sneak in an expo? This is a more difficult map to expand on. And will be pretty difficult for the Crypt Lord, especially if he's against a Keeper or a Demon Hunter. And it is an altar hero, so it probably will be a keeper or a demon hunter. Meanwhile, will Air expand again? And if he does, can he get his wood economy under control? Can he either pick up a shredder or make enough wisps? Will he stay tier 2 longer? A lot of what's going to happen. We'll just see how it unfolds. And it is going to actually be the demon hunter. So the only other time he went demon hunter in this series... Oh, he switched it to keeper. Anyways, what I was going to say is the only other time he went demon hunter in this series was game 2 Tidehunters before the NorthDrakkar early game disconnect. And then after the disconnect, he actually switched it up and went Pit Lord instead and ended up losing with the Pit Lord. I personally think Demon Hunter would have been a great choice, but he decided to go Pit Lord, lost with it, didn't work out, he went back to Keeper, and now this game he queues up Demon and then switches to Keeper. Looks like he did not actually want to go with the Demon. I think Demon also is pretty good on this map. Because even if you screw up your detonates, or even if you don't detonate at all, the Crypt Lord can't really expand against Demon Hunter on this map. So it's pretty easy to stop it when the creeps are that difficult. But it is going to be Keeper, and Keeper is of course strong as well. Definitely nothing wrong with the Keeper play here. But Air does kind of need to get probably a little more done. So one of the big strengths of Keeper versus Crypt Lord is he doesn't have coil to heal his fiends. So once you get level 2 or level 3 on your Keeper, you should be able to pressure and pick off fiends. Like they're just free kills, right? One entangle with some treants there, or one entangle with some focus fire if it's level 2 entangle, and a fiend is just dead. So see if Air can get to that point where he's doing so. But in the previous games, he's got a couple of the fiends to like literally 50 health and they escaped. And then he got one fiend kill in one of the games, but definitely not as much as he could get, because some good Keeper play could be very punishing to this fiend play from NorthDrakkar. Especially with like one wisp nearby to wipe the summons. You can take out everything, right? Like one good wisp plus entangled treants can kill all 6 of these summons plus a fiend. Maybe even both fiends. But we'll see if Air can get that done. Looks like he's trying to go for the shop. Not going to be the easiest camp. Wisp also not going for the detonate on the green camp. And NorthDrakkar will be able to move out. Does he go for the lab here? I think the lab would be like level 3, right? So it would be a pretty good call if he does go for it, but he's gonna go run past and over to blue side of the map. And that also might be a good call, because he's got this Nerubian up front. And is this blocked here? I can't remember if graveyards can even block in the first place with trees. But if Keeper can sneak through here, then this Nerubian's not exactly greatly positioned. And NorthDrakkar just sneakily gets by. Rejuve potion going off. Air wants to be able to get some entangles off, but he has no clue where NorthDrakkar is. NorthDrakkar snuck by the top and is nearing that level 3 if he can get one more camp. But there is a wisp here, and it could be a huge deto. Not enough damage. Oh, only 2 beetles. Not bad for NorthDrakkar. He will definitely take that. 2 beetles lost is not a huge deal, especially because I don't think the Crypt Lord got detoed either. Yeah, we do have Air going in. He did get level 3, and he is going for some ghouls, and now might be able to go for a fiend. This is what I'm talking about with these entangles. They can be huge, but he's not actually committing to this. Could have snuck in here, I believe, and then tried to go for an entangle kill, but keeping his mana for now. He's got 170 mana. Okay, he is going to sneak in, and yeah, this is just a dead fiend. And this is why you can't go, you know, fiends without like a Death Knight, or fiends at all. In general, it's better to go ghouls, because Keeper can just get free kills like this when you don't have coil, when you don't have ghoul and skelly support nearby. Cryptlord, where are you at? Level 3 Cryptlord, but what can he do? He's got some summons out, trying to go for the archers, but they're going to be able to hide at the fountain, and there's no dust, and another entangle is another kill, another fiend down. It is denied this time, which could be huge, preventing that Keeper from reaching 4. Oh my god. And then I assume it's purposeful that NorthDrakkar plays with formation movement on, but it's definitely pretty awkward sometimes with his fiends. I think he actually toggles it off and on, because I saw sometimes where it looked like it wasn't on. I'm not sure. Maybe it's, I don't know. It looks like it's on sometimes. I can't really tell. But yeah, sometimes when these fiends are like turning, you really just want them to move, because that almost opened up that other fiend to getting entangled as well. Is there ever a good reason? Yes. Like if you have dryads, for instance, in your control group, having formation movement on can be pretty good to make sure the dryads aren't leading, because you almost never want dryads to tank, right? But sometimes you do want the dryads up front to get a pick off. So in that case, you would want it off anyways and let the dryads run freely forward. But because dryads are so fast, sometimes you want to slow them down purposely so they're in the back. Now, of course, you can micro that yourself with 2 control groups, but you know, sometimes it's easier to just have formation movement, I guess. Obviously, I just have formation movement always off, but there are situations where you can get some value out of it. It's just very niche and not good in general. Also, if you're bad at watching where your army's going, sometimes you'll have units or a hero going way too far forward for no reason and it just dies. And yeah, we got Hippo Riders, by the way. I did not realize this, but this is not a very common play. It is tier 3 1 base Hippo Riders with Tinker second. I'm not sure about the Tinker play. I think his previous plays of like Naga or Dark Ranger, or you know, something like a Demon Hunter or Panda would be better, but if the Tinker can actually get leveled, he does get fairly strong. But a low level Tinker is pretty bad compared to low level of the other heroes. The Hippo Riders also need marksmanship, but he's short on wood again, and he's still missing a Wonders. He's missing a Moonwell. No expansion. Tinker is running into trouble with creeping anymore. And NorthDrakkar is pushing to level 4 with potentially an expansion suit. He's got an Arubian in place. He just needs a bit more wood. He does have 5 ghouls, so it looks like he probably wants to expand since he has this many ghouls on wood.
A player's forces are under
And yeah, we should see NorthDrakkar expanding here soon once the ghouls get a little more wood in the bank. And I think NorthDrakkar is in a good position here. Like, Hippo Riders are very... They're much more reliant on having a second base. Without the second base, if the undead doesn't like get surprised by it and just, you know, has web, doesn't lose to some hit and run or whatever, like, the Hippo Riders are not going to do much. And NorthDrakkar has web. He's going for the dragon here. He gets a web on the Hippo Rider. That's 1 Hippo Rider web. 3 Hippo Riders webbed. NorthDrakkar is going to take out 1 right away. I think, no, he's going for the dragon. Oh no. -4 food from that Hippo Rider. We're going for the dragon. I don't know if that's the right call. The Keeper's coming in. NorthDrakkar way too greedy for the creep. It's only an item. He's already got level 5. And he loses 2 fiends. But he does take out a couple hip riders and, well, even with, I would say, misfocus, like, this army is just stronger. Hippo riders are just not strong enough on one base. And I think NorthDrakkar is just in a great position still, even with those fiend losses. And we may be looking at a new champion moving forward. Is Air going to get dethroned here? He's got very little food left. He does have a lot of resources, but the Keeper's almost dead. The Tinker's not level 3. There's no third hero, no shop still, and he's going into Talons now as a last ditch effort, but there's no expansion either. NorthDrakkar's got a beetle there as well to spot it. And the Cryptlord's already got 5. He's got a pendant. He's got Scroll of the Beast. If he can get to his base, sell the gloves, and pick up double mana potion, he'll be in a great position. And he's got an expansion coming up. This is looking highly favorable for NorthDrakkar. And I don't know how blue can come back from this at this point. Even the tier 3 on the way for him. He's going to have a bit of everything soon. And Air really only has his heroes, but this isn't like Demon Hunter Panda, you know, some like super hardcore carry heroes. It's Keeper Tinker, and Keeper Tinker really needs to snowball. They really need to get levels as well on the Tinker, and he just doesn't have it. He's only level 2 Tinker. Keeper also far from 5. Meanwhile, the Cryptlord is close to 6. That was a lot of XP on those 4 food Hippo Riders. Tinker using the invuln, and I mean, like, how do you kill these beetles without wisps? Look at them! Look at these beetles! They got 440 health, 22 to 27 damage, 2 armor. And he just resummons them if they ever die. Where's the dryads? Where's the wisps? Air just does not have the army to deal with this, and it looks like NorthDrakkar is going to secure the victory here. The Tinker is falling. The Keeper is low. The expansion is mining. And it seems like NorthDrakkar has done it. Air sticking around for now. Looks like he might still want to do, you know, one final real push. But can he muster up enough army for that push before NorthDrakkar's army spirals out of control? It looks like NorthDrakkar is already breaking. He's at 54 food. He sees the army here. He sees the bear and the roar. He sees the crow form talons. He knows what he's up against. He has level 6 Cryptlord. He can still go back to his base for some mana potions. He's at 57 food. He's got 4 fiends rallied to his wood. He finally notices. He gives the OMG. They've been rallied there for about 2 minutes or something, or 3 minutes. I saw 2 of them there earlier. I think they got re-rallied there when he queued up an extra couple of ghouls so that he could actually afford the expansion. And then he never set them back. He was probably wondering where his army was. Finally sees them. Not going back to base for mana potions still, though. Going to go for invuln instead. But I do think making it back to his base, dropping the pendant, using a potion, keeping an extra potion for the fight would be huge here. But he's just going to push forward with what he has. He has 120 mana, good for 1 impale or a couple beetles. And the Tinker is actually blocked off here from the wind. He has to uproot his wind or eat a tree here with his Ancient War. But he doesn't have time for that. He's already in the fight. His Keeper doesn't have a TP. Impale misses a lot of the army, but will secure a couple kills, I believe. Or at least get them super low. And Air is not ready for this fight. Going to potentially TP out. No, he's going to buy the heal scroll instead. No, he will TP out. But one more fiend will, or one more Talon, narrowly escapes with a nice morph into crow form. But NorthDrakkar already still has vision of this expo and knows there's nothing to worry about. His army is about to hit 70 food, maybe even 80 if he has another supply building come up, and he does. He has the Necropolis finishing. No upgrades on the Fiends, however, but Fiends are just gonna crush. Talons are not very good against lots of Fiends, and NorthDrakkar makes lots of Fiends. He doesn't really make Destroyers. So Fiends just kind of crush this army. What can blue do against it? Impale coming in. NorthDrakkar trying to get a kill here, going for a block, but not the cleanest block on 200 ping. The keeper just merely walks right out. What can you do? But he's gonna chase him down. Put in a couple extra slaps. Criplord wants blood. And Air is stuck in his base with very little mana. Huge Impale hitting both heroes and a lot of the army. Locust Swarm coming in. NorthDrakkar finally got the mana for everything. And Air just has nothing left. No Expo to back him up this time. No Tri-Hero. And no Bank of Gold. This is the last of his supply. And the Criplord marches through. GG is called. Terrible map. I think both sides don't like the map. I don't know. A lot of Concealed Hill haters, I guess. Because I think NorthDrakkar also didn't like the map. Or maybe he didn't like a previous one. I'm not sure. But yeah, NorthDrakkar finally dethrones Air. But Air had a run of how many? Like 5? I can just check and confirm. He took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Air took out 6 other people actually.